Welcome, my good viewers. Still on CAPSICUM farming. If you remember, 2 weeks ago, or is it 1.5 weeks ago, we did the transplanting here in this greenhouse, and this is our crop. As you can see it, it's doing very well. I can talk about 100% survival, and the establishment is good. So today we are here to do our first fertilizer application, and I'm here with Mr. Kamau, who is entrusted with what is going here. I believe he will ask me some questions even as I explain. I'll start by explaining what we call or the importance of the fertilizer application, especially the first fertilizer application. This is the fertilizer we apply on newly transplanted crops or crops at establishment stage. Remember, we have crops which we transplant, we have crops which we plant, we do the direct seeding. The first application of fertilizer on either of those crops should be high in phosphorus. I have always insisted that. So Mr. Kamau, we are here, and first of all, congratulations. This is a good work.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Very impressive. So what could be some of the concerns?
Okay, so after transplanting, these are the first fertilizer application we are in. So why should we consider Agromaster, specifically Agromaster, and I understand this one is high in phosphorus. Why should we consider a fertilizer that is high in phosphorus rather than the one that is high in nitrogen?
Okay, that's a good question. The importance of a fertilizer which is high in phosphorus is to help the crop develop roots. Any crop at establishment stage, whatever or the basic thing which all the work the crop is involved in is developing roots, because at later stages we understand the crop now will start developing what we call foliage or leaves. But at this stage, what is important is a fertilizer high in phosphorus. Phosphorus meant for root development. Then your second part of the question, this is a Agromaster. Agromaster is the name or the brand name of this fertilizer, but the formula, as you can see, the formulation is 20% nitrogen, 30% phosphorus, and 2% potassium. Agromaster comes with several advantages compared to other fertilizer blends we have in the market. Most of the nitrogenous fertilizer options we have in the market, farmers suffer nitrogen loss through either volatilization or leaching. But for Agromaster, the nitrogen in Agromaster, or the granules, they are somehow they have a polymer coating, if I can explain in simple language. So with the controlled release technology, the fertilizer is able to release nutrients in line with the crop demand, and that helps to mitigate against the fertilizer or the nutrient or the nitrogen losses through the two ways I have explained. Then the other advantage is the fertilizer also comes with the additional elements. Remember, for these crops, it's not just about the NPK, the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and the potassium. This fertilizer comes with nitrogen, magnesium, this is sulfur, boron, and zinc. So we are talking about 8 essential elements, and that makes the fertilizer the perfect or the perfect choice for a farmer. So now I want to show farmers how to apply. Fertilizer application may look like a very simple practice, but I can tell you farmers mess a lot sometimes. So I just decided during this presentation I'll do a practical demonstration of how to do it.
Okay, so my question is, during fertilizer application, what are the ideal practices? How do you apply? And do you need to cover it with the soil or just put it on the top of? or how do you do it?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kamau. Those are very good questions. First of all, about the application, I'll talk about what we call the ideal practice when applying fertilizer. One, for the fertilizer, you need to have what we call the ideal dosage, not too little, not too much, because there are two things here we have to consider. One, we don't need to scorch the crop, because if we scorch the crop, it's a loss, or maybe we'll have to do other things to make the crop recover, and that's wastage of time, and the crop may never recover to the perfect condition. Number two, you also don't need to give very little, because also the crop needs the fertilizer. Remember, the fertilizer is very important. Like for this one, we are doing it so that the crop can have more established roots. So that's about the dosage. Number two, we have to talk about the where exactly do we apply. We have farmers who would prefer to put it at this point here, exactly where we have the rootstock, because they think, or maybe in their thinking, it is more efficient to do it that way, or more effective. It's not. If you place it here in the rootstock, or if the way you apply your fertilizer, you have the fertilizer touching parts of the crop, maybe the stem or maybe the roots, you risk scorching also the crop. So how do we do it? It's very simple. Just around the rootstock, you can just do like 5 centimeter. You can do a circle like this one, and then this is where we apply the fertilizer. That's safe enough. Just do round 5 centimeter radius. Then the other issue is, are we supposed to leave it that way, or are we supposed to cover it with the soil? It's very important to cover it with the soil. So maybe for you had done some weeding, so after application of the fertilizer, you'll just have some people just come and do some slight coverage. You just cover the fertilizer. Why? Because if you leave it exposed, again, you are risking loss, or the fertilizer loss, and we are talking about the nitrogen loss here. Even if our focus here is phosphorus, but if you leave it exposed, you are likely to lose the fertilizer through either volatilization or leaching, or maybe something else. Anyway, it's all about the utilization, optimizing the utilization. If you cover it with the soil, the utilization is more, because soil is the medium. So that's all. Thank you, Mr. Kamau. I'll come back when we will be doing the top dressing. That is like 3 weeks from now, and we are together with you to see, or to work together as we show our viewers the progress with this crop step by step. So keep following on my YouTube channel, keep sharing the videos.